All right, good afternoon. Thank y'all for being here. Great day to be a Troy Trojan today. On the way over here, looking at a big hole in the ground there in the north end zone, which is encouraging. For the first time, I had to really think about where we're kicking field goals over the weekend, and we only can kick field goals in the closed end, and that's a good thing. So construction is underway, and I think they're even ahead of schedule so far. So it's a big positive. We added two what I think are going to be great Trojans, future Trojans today. Wide receiver Damian Willis, a tall guy that can really run, somebody that we liked coming out of high school. We've had a relationship with now for going on 2 years. We need some length. We need some speed at outside receiver. He's going to be here in January and will be ready to compete right away. And then defensive end, Rasul Clemens, who's going to add to what is starting to be a long history of quality defensive linemen here. And he'll have an opportunity as the body and the build, the makeup to be a potential player at the next level. He'll step in and hopefully be able to play at the same level that we've gotten this year from Doc Dillard and Junior Yankande. Started practice over the weekend. Had 3 practices. Really just went good on good. We're out there for about 45 minutes to an hour. Got about a small scrimmage each of those days with our young players. Looking forward to 2017 with them. And today will be our first Ohio practice and first time to be in bowl prep here since 2010. And it's always a positive if you're practicing football in December. So a lot of good things going on. Dollar General Bowl on the 23rd, and our players are fired up about that. We're fired up about the destination, as we talked about. I encourage everybody that's watching this or listening to this to go to our website, the Troy website, troytrojans.com, and get tickets. I think a big reason why that we've got the invite there was how our fans and how our students in particular showed up when we played South Alabama there for the Battle of the Belt in a game on national television. And we need that same type of support and even more in this bowl game, because it's an opportunity for us to make a statement, get to 10 wins for the first time in our Division I history, and really celebrate what's been a tremendous season. So with that, I'll open any questions about the game or about the 2 guys we signed today. Yeah, so what we did is we had finals on Thursday, Friday. So we didn't – last week we worked out. They threw on their own up until Friday. And then Friday we had our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we had practice. We were out there for, like I said, 45 minutes to an hour. We went against each other, really to stay in shape, to stay sharp, and had fun. You know, we competed a lot, had some prizes and things like that guys went after. And then gave them off Monday and Tuesday to finish up finals. And then today, we'll practice today, Thursday, and Friday, and those will be Ohio. Give them the weekend off, and then we'll get back to work on Monday down at Mobile. Yeah. Well, you know, we've got to get Jordan Chun. You know, I hadn't talked about it much, but you know, even the casual observer can tell that Jordan was not the same after the App State game. And I think a couple things. He had an injury that he fought through. Didn't practice a whole lot through the last 3 weeks of the season. His production fell off, and I don't think we blocked quite as well up front as we had been. A lot of it had to do with who we played. We played 2 of the best defensive fronts in our league in Georgia Southern and Arkansas State. I think we still got some work to be done up front. But he wasn't at full speed. A lot of the runs he was making up until that point in the season against App, he wasn't making, especially yards after contact and breaking tackles. Just not the same guy. So he's been off. And he'll do a little bit this week, but basically we're going to let him rehab and get back healthy until we get down to the bowl site and start practice on Monday. But I expect him to be back at full strength for this game and look like he did up until the App State game. Talking about their defensive front, you know, that's the first thing that really jumps out to me. Is you look at, I think they're 6th in the country, if I'm not mistaken, in rushing defense. They've got 43 sacks on the year. Just I think their linebacker play, their defensive line across the board will be as good, outside of Clemson, will be as good or better than anybody we've played this year.
Speak to the number of
Yeah, without a doubt. Really excited for those individual awards, and I think they're always based on team success. You know, we had some good players last year, but our team wasn't quite as good, and we didn't get as much recognition. I think it speaks to we had two guys on the preseason team, and then we turn around and have a high number. Especially proud of Doc Diller, a guy that's battled through some adversity in life and in his career here. And for him to be, I think if I'm not mistaken, and Adam can tell you, but I think he's the first player of the year that we've had at Troy since Omar was the player of the year in 07. First defensive player of the year since a guy named DeMarcus Ware was here. So really proud of him. We asked him to change positions actually going into preseason camp. He did that, was unselfish throughout, and really just speaks highly of him and how he's played this year. And then several first team all conference guys and second team as well. You know, a guy like Jalen Roundtree to get second team all conference. You know, that's really grown over the last 2 years. It's been a positive. I felt like Brandon Silvers was the best quarterback in our league all year. To see other coaches and other media recognize that as well was rewarding. And a guy like Emmanuel Thompson, you know, very lightly recruited, coming out of Barber County, not necessarily a football powerhouse. And for him to come here and lead our league in receiving and get first team all conference. And if you look at it, a lot of those all conference kids are guys right here in our local recruiting area, which I think will help us build. Which will help us build our program.
This is the first time in a while you guys have practiced this late into December. What does it feel like just still being out there?
Yeah, it's great. You know, we had, like I said, the bowl game is all right. Objective number one is to win the game. Without a doubt, we want to get that 10th win. But also, this is a reward. It's a reward for our football team. It's a reward for our program and for our coaches. So I think it's a fine line between preparing to win, but also having a good time. We're going to make sure we're having a good time. We're going to have shorter practices than we do during the season. We're also going to get our young guys some work with an eye towards 17. You know, I told them before we practice on Friday, all you guys that are going to scrimmage here at the end of practice, this is practice 1, 2, and 3, and next week will be 4, 5, and 6. For spring 2017. It's your opportunity to make a mark entering into spring ball. Well, I think, you know, this is a class, and we're going to celebrate our seniors over the next 2 weeks. I don't ever believe in doing that until they're actually going to play their last game. You know, so we had senior night here at home, and that's not a memory that they're going to cherish. I can promise you that. They'll always remember their last game in college, and this game against Ohio University is going to be their last game, and we want to send them out with a win that will put this team. It'll be the first to ever win 10 games, which you know, you're the first to do something. They bring you back. You know, you're going to bring back and have reunions and those type of things. So it's an opportunity for these seniors to do something special. Well, yeah, he's a speed guy. You know, if you look at East Mississippi Junior College, which we've had a lot of success there. You know, Jordan Leslie was the lead recruiter on both of these guys, Rasul and Damian, and Jordan spent the last 3 seasons in Scuba at East Mississippi. And those guys, I like they're well coached there. They're used to winning, and they've had a high-powered offense for a long time, and Damian was their leading receiver this year. I think he's grown a lot. You know, I'm talking about as a football player, as a person, academically as well. Over the last 2 years since we first started seeing him in high school, and he's a guy that he needs to put on some weight. He needs to get a little stronger, but ball skills, ability to stick his foot, explosiveness. He's a guy that we're counting on to be a big contributor for us next year. Yeah, well, that's the thought process. And you know, he's a guy that has a ton of potential. He's long. You know, you're talking about a guy that only weighed about 185 pounds coming out of high school. You know, had a lot of SEC interest in coming out. That was a big win for our program, for Jordan on the recruiting trail to get Rasul here. like what he stands for. Hard-working kid. Sit out this year at East Mississippi, and he's ready. He'll have 3 years of eligibility left, and you know, he's going to spend a lot of time with Coach Horton. And as his body develops, I think he's got a chance to be one of the premier defensive ends in our league.
You guys have played two quarterbacks, in games before you, not in the season, played two quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You got a game plan for an Ohio team that will kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, they don't change what they do. One of them's a senior, one of them's a redshirt freshman, and they've had success. They basically, it seems to me, and that's a question really for Coach Southers, but it seems to me they go with the hot hand. They go in and play both of them in a lot of football games and kind of go with the hot hand. So there's a couple things that each of them do differently or a little better than the other. So we'll prepare for that. But as far as overall game plan, it won't change much regardless who's at quarterback. Well, I see less of him, which is that's a positive. He, here's what I think. He's a guy that probably didn't buy in real quick, but didn't have the results he wanted to have. And as he bought in, especially from a conditioning level, as he bought into that, he saw his play increase, and he's one of our most improved players from a year ago. We started playing him a lot the New Mexico State game on last season, and he improved last year. But the offseason, he had a really good offseason. And then this year, he's been solid there. Didn't finish the year off playing as well as he had. Got a little beat up, but I think he's going to bounce back and finish the year, how he played through the start and through the midpoint of it. But I'm really proud of him individually for how far he's come.
Stephen, wanted me to ask you, if you're able to get any Christmas shopping done?
That's up to Brooke. I've taken care of the kids while she's gone Christmas shopping. Our Christmas shopping is the girls and I are going out Saturday. We're mama shopping on Saturday.
What's on their Santa list?
Stacey, you do not have enough time for that. Do not have enough time for that.
You can hit the highlight.
We're hitting I'm trying to think. Well, I'll make sure I get this right so my wife. We're hitting a want, a need, and a read. So we're minimizing. A want, a need, and a read.